welcome back. So I've been driving the Cobra now daily for several weeks, and I thought I would talk about that. And I like trying different camera angles. Let me know what you think about this camera angle versus the POV, like the straightforward POV, like me wearing a hat, versus the camera pointing at me. I also have 2 GoPros now, so I could do like multiple angles. So let me know what kind of angles you guys think are cool. But I'm also gonna ride tonight with the windows up. Also, I don't think I've ever done a vlog at night, so windows up, night vlog, talking about how it feels to daily drive the Terminator. But before we go into that, I'm gonna get myself a protein bar and an energy drink, because of course we're vlogging on the way to the gym like usual, because that's literally the only time that I have to vlog lately. It's cold outside, boys. Me and the Cobra, we both kind of struggle when it first gets cold out. Don't get me wrong, it's not like an E85 car. And then, like, it's fine on cold starts, but sometimes the Cobra just gets a little cold, and she's like, "Oh, I'm cold. Why are you making me do this?" Anyways, I digress. Let me know what you think about this different angle. I don't know how well you guys can see. GoPros are not like the greatest at nighttime, but I wanted to try something a little different. I honestly just had no time earlier today to do this. So, driving the Terminator Cobra daily for 2 straight weeks. This is probably the longest that I've daily driven the Cobra since I don't know, since I was a teenager. And honestly, it's not that bad, because my daily commute, it's only about 15 miles. I drive literally to like Walmart, to the gym, a couple other places to run errands around town, and my town's fairly small. So daily driving the Cobra, 15 miles a day, it isn't too terribly bad. The worst part of it is just that it gets terrible gas mileage. So I'm probably spending about $20 every four days or so, every 4 or 5 days so on gas. So it's not awful, but keep in mind I'm only driving 15 miles a day as well. Way to merge, boys. You gotta merge like you mean it. Otherwise, you just might not merge. Don't you hate it when you're trying to merge and there's a car in front of you merging at like 45 miles per hour? And you're like, dude, just merge at like 70, 75 so that you can get ahead of traffic. So daily driving the Terminator, it's actually been a ton of fun. It kind of reminds me of me when I was a teenager and I used to daily it for years. And it's not too bad. Having an aggressive clutch, and I've got the RST, the McLeod RST clutch, not too aggressive, but it's not stuck. Then having a big cam and then a ton of boost, it makes it a little bit challenging, especially getting out of first gear with a cam. It can be a little bit challenging. It sucks to get stuck in traffic, so I try to avoid getting stuck in traffic, but just cruising around on the highway and through town, I'm honestly really enjoying it. Now, I'm not going to keep dailying the Cobra once I get another daily driver. I'm going to get another daily actually tomorrow. I got a 2012 Mazda 6. That's going to be the new daily. Buick was totaled. If you haven't seen my past couple videos, someone put out in front of me. This is not actually a hard car to daily. Like if you stay at a boost, and if you don't, go too high in RPMs, it's not too bad. Now going 60, 65, I'm having to try to talk over the car. It is a little bit loud. Like that's a lot. It's a loud car, but it's not so loud that it's like unbearable. It's just kind of hard to talk when you're cruising at a constant RPM. It's a little bit drony. Obviously not as drony as like a chambered exhaust. I've got Borla Ataks, so it's just more raspy when I get into the throttle. Not as drony when I'm not, but it is a little bit loud. So this year I've been forced to daily drive the Cobra for several weeks. I also drove the Cobra to Myrtle Beach. So it's kind of crazy how reliable this is. I'm on like 21 pounds of boost. I got a 2-through Ripple, I got a big cam, and this thing managed to drive to Myrtle Beach and back with not one single problem. And also I've been daily driving it for weeks and I've had not one single problem. Now, I don't beat the crap out of my car. You guys probably see me in videos doing pulls. It's literally like the same videos I just post and edit over and over again. I don't actually beat the crap out of the car that often. I'm actually really nice to it. I do pulls here and there, but where I live, off of 321, there are literally cops everywhere. There's a cop that sits outside of my neighborhood like almost every day. There's a cop that sits on the entrance of the interstate. So there's not really a lot of places where I can do any really big, long, drug-out pulls because there's just no way living out here that I'd get away with it. All the cops are kind of just chilling. They don't have much to do. They're bored, so they're giving out speeding tickets a lot around here. If you guys live in a small town, you probably understand. There's not much for the cops to do. It's nice to have low crime, but with low crime comes cops that are bored that will, you know, that will kind of go after people for less because they've got nothing to do. So daily driving the Cobra, I have to be even more careful because it's more chances for me to get pulled over for being loud, more chances for me to get pulled over for getting into it because it's fun. And if you're driving it every day, you know, it's more likely that you get into it because you're just driving it more often and you want to get into it because it's fun. So, you know, it's been interesting trying to be nice. Can we go? We've got a red light. I will say, driving it every day, I've had quite a few people come up to me and compliment the car. When I'm driving it like once a week, it doesn't always happen. But driving it every single day, I think I've had like 4 or 5 people now come up to me and say like, yeah, I've seen your car before. You know, I follow your videos, or like, oh, I've seen this thing around town, it's sick. And it's fun. It's fun daily driving something like this just because there's much more opportunities to meet people within the car community. That's something that I've learned is like if you daily drive something like a Terminator Cobra, and you can, like, to those of you guys that are like living in a small town and your daily commute is just kind of like driving to work or driving to the gym and it's not very far, I don't really see anything wrong with daily driving the Terminator Cobra. It's not like a reliable issue or anything like that. The only negative thing about daily driving it is just that, you know, you're going to have to behave yourself a lot more often, and then also the more that you drive it, the higher the possibility is that, you know, something random happens and you get in some sort of accident. Now, I've got eyes on the back of my head. Driving this car, I'm looking to my left, to my right. When I go through an intersection, even if a light's green, I look both ways. I'm very, very careful when it comes to this car. But if you're not like me, you know, driving it every day, see that guy, you know, he kind of pulled out a little late there. See that car right there to the right. I can't see. I get nervous. See, I slowed down to like 20 because like I couldn't see if that guy was about to pull out. So I am a very cautious driver. And I've had a lot of you guys say, well, why don't you, maybe you just got the wrong type of insurance. Like, you shouldn't have to be like that. But it's like, even if I have some type of insurance that would cover the engine, the transmission, the whole build, whatever, I'd still be really depressed if I got into a wreck because I love this car. I've had it basically most of my life. And while daily driving it is super nostalgic and it brings me back in time, I also would rather just be super careful and not get in a wreck versus like, oh, let's have a really good insurance and not worry about it too much. You could have a really good insurance and still be super cautious. And it's literally touching like 1 pound of boost. So like, that's kind of fun, being able to just like enjoy that every day. If you're someone that works out, if you're daily driving your Cobra, that means you get to like, you get to get hyped every single day going to the gym. So honestly, I don't know, I might do this every year where I just daily drive the Cobra for like 2 or 3 weeks out of the year. It's not that bad. If I had to do this for like 3 or 4 months, I'd probably get really bored of it, and it kind of defeats the fun in having the car if you drive it too much. It's kind of like, you know, if you're around someone or something that you love all the time, you don't have time to miss it. So if you have a car like this, it is nice to not have it as a daily, because then you get to really enjoy it when you have time with it. Whereas even if it's like the most reliable car ever and gets good gas mileage, if you drive it all the time, it's just not going to be as enjoyable, because you're driving it because, you know, it's your daily, you rely on it. You're not driving it just to, like, you know, go out and space out and have a good time. So to sort of end off the video, how's it been daily driving a Cobra, like a Terminator Cobra with the Whipple and cams for 2 straight weeks? Well, it's been fun. I recommend it to anyone. If you have a Terminator, or like I'll say this, if some of you guys are thinking about getting a Terminator and you're thinking like, can I daily drive it? Can I get this Terminator and daily drive it? Yes. But I would just say, maybe do it. Maybe do that. Maybe, like, if you're young, maybe get a Terminator. You know, you only live once. Maybe get it and daily drive it, but just don't do it forever. Like, that's going to get old after 6 months to a year. So if you want to get a Terminator and daily drive it, maybe plan to daily drive it for like 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then get another daily. But daily driving a Terminator Cobra for 3, 4, 5 years, I wouldn't personally do that. You could, nothing wrong with that, but in order for me to really enjoy this car to its fullest, I don't really want to daily it all the time. And it's not about reliability. Like, the way we've built up this car and then me not beating on it, it's actually oddly enough more reliable now with the 2.3 Whipple and the built motor than it was back when it was bolt-ons, because it was old, it needed a new motor. So like, the car is actually very reliable. I don't have a problem with that anymore. If I beat the crap out of it all the time, probably wouldn't be as reliable, which is why I don't. But as it sits right now, a very reliable Terminator Cobra. Gets terrible gas mileage, but reliable nonetheless. And it's actually been the most reliable car that I've had as of lately. After we had all those issues in 2020 and 2021, of course, if you saw any of those old videos, this thing was very unreliable for a very long time, but we had to get through all the bad parts. We had to replace all these things, but now that we have, it's actually very reliable. But would I want to keep daily driving it every day? No, because then I just wouldn't enjoy the car as much. You gotta be smart, but at the same time, we're all gonna die someday, so enjoy your life. Like, sometimes you just gotta enjoy your life. Sometimes you just look at a car and you're like, yeah, I want that. It's hard to justify paying for things sometimes, but sometimes you just gotta think of yourself and, you know, love yourself and have a good time. Like, you gotta have a good time sometimes. Sometimes I get so worried about doing the right thing in life that I don't have fun anymore. And to those of you that are like me, sometimes you just gotta live a little. That's what the Terminator Cobra is. With that, I'm gonna conclude this video. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, comment if you have any questions, or just want to say hello, or if you like these camera angles, or what video to make next. Obviously, I'm kind of struggling right now. I'm super busy. I only have like an hour or so a week to make videos right now. Come January, I'll have a lot more free time. I'll have a lot less wedding stuff going on. I'll be able to spend a lot more time on car content, and I plan on January, February, March to make a lot more car content. So yeah, let me know what you guys want me to make. I'll see you next video. If you're not subscribed to the channel for Cobra and car content, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.